Okay, so let's start our lesson today. Well, let me introduce myself first. My name is Coco, and I'm the Moledao community and BD manager. I'm not sure if someone has heard about Moledao, but if you do, you heard about Moledao before, you can tap 1 on the screen and let me know like how many friends know us before. Okay, never mind. So let me make a short introduction about the Moledao. Moda is a community-led organization, and we established in the August 2021, and we backed up by the Babbit. We are building a community to connect the builders and facilitate the collaborative efforts towards the Web3 ecosystem. Well, if you would like to know more about us and interact with Web3 stakeholders, we encourage you to scan the QR code to join our Telegram group. And we also prepared an NFT for each participant as a prize that will be sent as a private link to the group at the end of the class. So everyone do look forward to it. Well, I believe that when you first enter the world of Web3, you will often hear a few words. Layer 1, Layer 2, Layer 0. But what do they really stand for? In this lesson, I'm going to give you the basics of the Web3, starting with the underlying network. And I'd like to make it clear that everything I will say today is actually from the official Ethereum website, trying to give you guys the most authoritative information possible. Well, let's start with Layer 1. We have always said that the Ethereum is the largest public blockchain in our applications, and it has the most applications on it. This public blockchain is Layer 1. Well, let's refer to the definition of the Layer 1. Layer 1 is the base blockchain. The Ethereum and Bitcoin are both the Layer 1 blockchains because they are the underlying foundation that various Layer 2 networks build on the top of. Well, what can we conclude from this definition? The Ethereum and the Bitcoin networks we are using now are both Layer 1 networks. The Layer 2 projects that we see on the market now are based on the Layer 1 network. But is the Layer 1 network really perfect? The answer is no. A very big problem is that the Layer 1 network is very congested, which leads to the very high gas charges. And here, I also have a question for you guys. Like anyone can have a guess that how many transactions Ethereum mainnet can process per second. So any answer? Okay, so I will give you the tip. The right answer is between the number 0 to the 20. So everyone can think about, can just pick one number in this range and tap on the screen. Yes, correct. It's 15. So the Ethereum mainnet is only able to process roughly 15 transactions per second. But by the comparison, the Visa payment system can already process up to 24,000 transactions per second. So what can we conclude from the comparison? The transaction speed of the Ethereum mainnet is not enough to meet the current demand of the people. Well, some students may ask, what is a gas fee? So the gas fee is actually a fee paid to the miner when a user makes a transaction on the blockchain. The miner needs to package it and put the transaction on the blockchain in order to make the transaction complete. So this fee can also be understood as a tip or the incentive to the miner. Well, let's get back to the point. We all know the Layer 1 network is really congested. But what is the root cause of the very congested Layer 1 network? Well, this brings us to the concept of the trilemma. The trilemma refers to the fact that not only the Ethereum, but also all the public blockchains that we see today are looking for a balance between the decentralization, security, and scalability. Well, these three things actually inhibit each other. For example, the Ethereum mainnet is actually better at the decentralization and the security, but its scalability is very poor. So the core scalability refers to the large transaction speed and the less data storage. But someone may ask, so we just make the Ethereum network centralized, we'll solve this scalability problem, right? Why not? But the thing is, the decentralization is too important. It's the decentralization that gives the Ethereum the neutrality, censorship resistance, openness, data ownership, and the near unbreakable security. This also means we need to expand the scalability of Ethereum while maintaining the security and the decentralization. Well, in order to solve this problem, there are some solutions. So today we are going to mention two. One is an upgrade of the Ethereum, which is often referred to as a ETH 2.0. And the other one is the layer 2. Well, the layer 2 is the first to land before the ETH 2.0. So we will start with the layer 2 first. Well, what is layer 2? A layer 2 is a separate blockchain that extends the Ethereum and inherits security guarantees of the Ethereum. So this definition contains the following information. Number one, layer 2 and layer 1 are separate, and they are the two different blockchains. Number two, layer 2 expands the Ethereum's scalability. Number three, layer 2 inherits the security of layer 1. Well, having talked about the basic definition of the layer 2, let's now look at how it solved the problem of the layer 1. This brings us to a very important technique in the layer 2, which is called rollups. So what is rollups? Rollups refers to bundling the hundreds of transactions into a single transaction on the layer 1. So this distributes the layer 1 transaction fees across everyone in the rollup, making it cheaper for each user. So the rollup transactions calculations get executed off the layer 1, where the transaction data is submitted to the layer 1. And by submitting the transaction data onto the layer 1, rollups inherit the security of Ethereum. And which is also because each block on the Ethereum is required to contain a record of all historical transactions, and which prevents someone from tampering with the information. But how many types of the rollup technology are there? Today, we will introduce two main kinds of rollups. One is the optimistic rollups, and the second is the zero-knowledge rollups. Well, let's look at the optimistic rollup first. Optimistic rollups rely on a trust-based model, providing the high scalability but assuming the honest behavior. This means that the rollup defaults to all the calculations provided by all behaviors being accurate. However, it has a disadvantage of requiring a 7-day wait for verification when withdrawing the funds to the main Ethereum. Well, the optimistic rollups are represented by the Optimism, Arbitrum, and others, but I will not go into make some details here about how this project works, but you can find out by yourself after the class as you want. Well, the ZK rollups use the zero-knowledge proofs in the cryptography, which can be simply understood as complex mathematical calculations that allow the data to be verified at the beginning. So by comparison, there is no long waiting period when withdrawing the funds, but they are not as scalable as the optimistic rollups. Well, the ZK rollups are represented by the projects such as the Loopring and ZK-Sync. Well, that is basically all about the layer 2, and you can imagine that with the development of the layer 2, more applications will migrate from the main network to the layer 2. So the main network of the Ethereum is also facing the threat of layer 2 to a certain extent. So the Ethereum itself must also do its own upgrade, that is ETH 2.0. So the Ethereum 2.0 is actually a multi-phased upgrade that tries to improve the Ethereum network's scalability and security by making the infrastructure modifications. Notably, switching from a proof of work POW to a proof of stake POS consensus process. Well, today I will show you guys the two upgrade steps that play important roles in the POW to the POS switching, which are the beacon chain and the merge. Well, let's first look at the beacon chain. What is the beacon chain? The beacon chain is the name of the original proof of stake blockchain that was launched in the 2020. It was created to ensure the proof of stake consensus logic was sound and sustainable before enabling it on the Ethereum mainnet. Therefore, it ran alongside the original proof of work Ethereum. And after the extensive testing, it was a time for the beacon chain to reach the consensus on the real world data. So beacon chain merged with the main network on the 15th September 2022, which is known as the merge. The merge marks the initial proof of work mechanism was formally upgraded to the proof of stake. The original Ethereum mainnet merged with a separate proof of stake blockchain called the beacon chain, now existing as one chain. Well, the POS consensus solved the problem of the very poor scalability and the wasted energy of the former Ethereum, but the upgrades didn't end. There is still an ongoing need for iteration and upgrading of the POS consensus mechanism as it operates. Well, I'm sure you already have a good understanding of the layer 1 and the layer 2, but we seem to have missed one of the concepts I mentioned at the beginning, which is layer 0, right? So what is a layer 0? According to the Binance Academy, layer 0 protocols are essentially the infrastructure upon which layer 1 blockchains can be built as a foundational layer to blockchain networks and applications. Layer 0 protocols can fix the challenges that the industry faces, such as the scalability and interoperability. Well, simply speaking, the blockchain networks built on the same layer 0 protocol can interact with one another by default without the need of the dedicated bridges. And also, the layer 0 can take the load off by delegating these key functions, such as the transaction execution, consensus, and the data availability to the different blockchains, expanding the scalability. Well, one of the most representative projects of the layer 0 protocol is Polkadot. But I won't explain more about what the Polkadot is in this lesson, but you can study it later if you are interested about this project. Well, I think it's basically all the content of the Web3 underlying network in the today's lesson. And in order to help you better sort of the knowledge points of this lesson, I also prepared this mind map for you guys, so you can take a screenshot as you want for your later review. Well, I think that is all about my sharing today. And thank you to the Alibaba Cloud Academy's invitation and all the participants. So let's keep in touch.